Hello, welcome to this tutorial on data visualization. In the previous tutorial, we looked at creating histograms. On this tutorial, we will look at creating bar charts as well as the pie charts. Histograms are very good for quantitative data. However, bar charts and pie charts are better for visualizing results that are more categorical. This is the data from the ISET study published in 2006. It compared aneurysm clipping versus aneurysm coiling in managing patients with cerebral aneurysms. In the aneurysm clipping group, there were 550 patients who had a good outcome, 243 patients had a poor outcome. And in the aneurysm coiling group, 611 patients had good outcome and 190 patients had poor outcome. If you have a quick look at this data, you can see that although the aneurysm coiling is great, the number of patients who had good outcome with aneurysm coiling is greater than the number of people who had good outcome with aneurysm coiling. The number of people who had poor outcome with aneurysm coiling is less than the poor outcome with aneurysm clipping. So you can see from just having a look at it, the proportion of poor outcome is going to be smaller in the aneurysm coiling than in the aneurysm clipping. It's always good to visualize the data before you undertake statistical tests. The first visualization would be a bar chart. What we would like to have is a bar chart where we have for aneurysm clipping, good and poor outcome side by side, so we can see the difference in the height, and then bar chart in the same chart for aneurysm coiling with good and poor outcomes. You can select the data set. So you select the data set and you can click directly on the bar chart. The thing is that the chart that we want is basically this type of chart. Or this type of chart, cluster column chart. And it's not sometimes as easy as you think. And sometimes the easy way to get around figuring out how to do is to click on the recommended charts. And then you will see that this one gives you what we wanted. I'll just click on it and let's have a look at this. Here you see a bar chart, and the problem here is that rather than the X being aneurysm clipping and coiling, here the X is good outcome and poor outcome. The labels, so the label, this dark blue is for clipping and the orange is for coiling. So these are the labels, these are the x-axis, these are the data. So how can we change it to get what we want? There would be one of them will likely to be what we want, but let's have a look at this and see whether we can sort it out ourselves. And that way when we understand it, it's easier to deal with them. So what you first of all have to do is I'm using Mac, so Control click and then go to select data. So when you have the data selected, you can see the chart data range, and it's going from A1 to C3, A1 to C3. So that's brilliant. Okay, now look at the horizontal axis labels. That's going from B1 to C1, B1 to C1. That's why you are seeing that good outcome and poor outcome, because it's going from B1 to C1. What we really want is these to be our x-axis. So what we'll do is that we just take this one out. Okay, we click on this and then we go and say we want these two to be the x-axis. Okay, and now we want to change the legend. So now we should get aneurysm clipping here, aneurysm coiling here, and we should have good and bad outcome. So to get the good outcome, we want to have the first one we want is this one. So what we do is we click on the name here and we go and say this one. And if we do that, what we will see is that that's good outcome. The next one what we want is this poor outcome. Now what we want to do is once again give the range so that we are all good. Now the y values are, these are the y values, these are the results. So what we do is we just take this, it should be fine, we should just, so what's the y value for the good outcome? That's this two. Okay, and what's the results, the y value for the poor outcome? That will be these two. Okay, so just to recap, we wanted to change the x-axis and we wanted the x-axis to be aneurysm clipping and coiling, and that's what we have done, A2 to A3. If you look at it, A2 to A3. Then we wanted the legends, we got the legends, we went here and said which legends we wanted. So the good and poor outcome, we choose the data sheet, and then for good outcome we gave this as the date y, and for the poor outcome we gave this as the values. So now when I click OK, you should get what we wanted. We get aneurysm clipping and aneurysm coiling, the legends good outcome and poor outcome. You can see the results. It will also be good to have a pie chart. I'll just change this before. Okay. And how can we create a pie chart? Well, once again we choose the data range, we go to insert, and then we click on pie chart. We'll just go for a basic pie chart, it's easier to visualize. If you look at it here, what it has given us for aneurysm clipping. So we'll just make sure that we have got the data correct. So if you go and click add labels, and let's change the color of the labels, text option to white, then we can see. So let's just see that we got the correct one. So it says for aneurysm clipping, the good outcome, you can see the color is 550 and the poor outcome is 243. That's brilliant. It will be nice to just change the color here. Let's see whether we can change the color nicely. So we'll go for the green for good outcome. I'll just undo that. So I'll just choose this part. We'll go for green for that one, and we'll go for this one red. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so it will be nice to have something similarly for the aneurysm coiling group. It's I'm sure that if we go through these charts, we will find one for aneurysm coiling. Interesting, there isn't. So how shall we have a look at the anatomy of this? Then it's easier for us to create a pie chart for aneurysm coiling. So if I click on with the control click and then go to select data, then if I move it, then you can see what's happening here. So we'll always go to the horizontal categories, the x-axis as if it were. So the x-axis is for this one is B1 to C1. So B1 to C1. So it's a good and poor outcome because it's the aneurysm clipping. That's already the category. So that's good. So we are happy with, if you are going to have our next chart with aneurysm coiling, we will keep it to B1 to C1. Okay. And in terms of the what we want to do is that we want to have the legends for this one, the legend for the aneurysm. This one will be our x, and so here this is the x and y, and it's the legend series. So if we change here, then it should technically give us a data for aneurysm coiling, but I don't think it will work out like that. Let's see. Where has it gone now? So it's you see, it hasn't changed at all. So what you have to do is we go back, select data. Okay. Leave it as it is. Okay, say okay. Okay, we go and make another one. We insert another pie chart. Sorry. We insert another pie chart. Beg your pardon. We select the data set. We insert another pie chart. Okay. So what we need to do to get coiling is that we go here. We say select data, and we still want to have the horizontal axis as good and bad outcome. So we are happy with that. And if you look at it, it's B1 to C1, B1 to C1. So we are happy with that. So what we want is aneurysm coiling rather than aneurysm clipping. So the easy thing is to just delete this one. Okay, so if you delete aneurysm coiling, aneurysm clipping, then you will be pretty much automatically selected this and this, and it should do the trick. Okay, let's see. You see, it has done the trick. So that's the easiest way of doing it. So now you can see, I will make this one green again, like how we did last time, and this one red. So looking at it, you can see that the aneurysm clipping has a larger share of a poor outcome than the aneurysm coiling. So now you have got a visual idea of the data, and you have seen how you can create the bar chart and the pie chart. You just have to be patient. You first of all create a chart and see whether it's a chart that you wanted, and the numbers are correct. If it is not correct, then you can always, as I did earlier, just control click, get the select data, then try to figure out where these data correspond to, and get the correct corresponding data into these boxes. So I hope you found this tutorial useful, and when you are embarking on any research, and when you are dealing with data, Data visualization is the foundation on which to think, to interpret, and to do statistical analysis. You can do all of them without doing good visual data visualization. But if you do a good visual data visualization before you jump into analysis and statistical analysis, then you'll have a better understanding and insight into your data. Thank you for your kind attention and wishing you a great day. Bye for now.